Among the station's varied inhabitants is Kelly, a young female from the Rinkesha, proud and battle-hardened warrior species known throughout the galaxy for their fierce independence, combat prowess, and strict codes of honor. Rinkesh are widely respected, but also feared, especially because they refuse to submit or bend easily to others' wills. Their culture values strength, self-sufficiency, and personal freedom above almost everything else. Kelly embodies all these traits. She carries herself with a sharp-eyed vigilance, always alert to potential threats or challenges. She wears her pride visibly in her posture, the way she speaks, and how she interacts with others. Most alien species on Elysium keep a respectful distance from her. Kelly prefers it that way. She is seen as formidable and unapproachable. Despite her tough exterior, Kelly's true nature is more complex. The story hints at a quiet loneliness beneath her proud facade. She spends long hours working alone in the station's maintenance bays, fixing, adjusting, and keeping critical systems running. Her job requires precision and technical skill, but more than that, it offers a refuge from social expectations and the pressures of her warrior caste. Jared, a human engineer stationed on Elysium, observes Kelly from a distance. Unlike most aliens, who see Kelly as intimidating, Jared is simply curious. He's known for his calm demeanor, steady hands, and willingness to help others without expectation. Humans on the station are known for their adaptability and approachability, traits that Jared exemplifies. One evening, an unexpected power surge causes widespread disruption in part of the station's systems. The lights flicker, warning alarms. Blare, and critical equipment shuts down. In the chaos, Jared finds Kelly struggling with a stubborn malfunction in the electrical conduits. The system is complex and delicate. It requires both technical knowledge and calm precision. Without waiting for permission or explanation, Jared kneels beside Kelly and begins assisting her. His actions are instinctive and matter-of-fact. To Jared, helping a fellow engineer is simply what one does in moments of crisis. Kelly's initial reaction is a mixture of surprise and irritation. She's not used to anyone stepping in unsolicited, especially not a human. Her pride makes her resist assistance, and she feels her independence challenged. Her sharp gaze meets Jared's steady one, and she stiffens, ready to pull away. But Jared doesn't react with offense or withdrawal. Instead, he works alongside her quietly, his hands moving efficiently, calmly, and respectfully. He doesn't speak much, giving Kelly room to assert herself, but he doesn't back down either. Their hands brush over exposed wiring and components as they cooperate to stabilize the system. It's a moment of silent teamwork, punctuated only by the soft hum of machinery and the occasional beep of the station's consoles. For the first time, Kelly doesn't pull away. Though her pride forbids her from openly showing gratitude, a subtle shift happens, an unspoken acknowledgement that Jared is not an enemy, nor someone trying to dominate her. He is simply there, helping without expecting anything in return. The incident ends with the system restored and the lights flickering back to normal. But the interaction leaves a lasting impression on both. For Jared, it confirms his belief in helping others regardless of species or attitude. For Kelly, it plants the seed of curiosity and a crack in the walls of her guarded heart. The story's first part establishes the core dynamic between Kelly and Jared. It contrasts Kelly's fierce independence with Jared's quiet, unassuming kindness. It introduces their worlds, the warrior culture of the Rinkesh, and the cooperative, adaptable nature of humanity. Kelly, as a Rinkesh warrior, is deeply rooted in a culture that values strength, autonomy, and self-reliance. Her species' ethos rejects vulnerability and dependence on others, viewing such traits as weaknesses. From birth, Kelly was trained to stand on her own, to fight her own battles, and to never allow anyone else to control or own her. This makes her cautious, defensive, and sometimes confrontational toward those who try to get close. Jared, on the other hand, embodies many of humanity's strengths: empathy, patience, and a natural inclination to help others. He is respectful and gentle in his approach, yet persistent. He understands that trust is not freely given, especially by someone like Kelly. So, instead of pushing her, he offers his help quietly and consistently, allowing her to decide when and if she will accept it. The friction between them grows, but so does their unspoken connection. Kelly's sharp wit and fiery temper clash with Jared's calm demeanor. They often find themselves in small disputes or tense exchanges during work on the station systems, where both their expertise and temperaments come into play. In one notable scene, Kelly snaps, "I'm not your pet," her voice low and fierce, laced with the pride and defiance typical of her people. The phrase is loaded. More than a simple denial of dependence, it is a declaration of her identity and autonomy. To Kelly, the idea of being anyone's pet or under their control is an insult to everything she stands for. This statement acts as a boundary, a warning to Jared that while she may tolerate his presence and occasional help, she will not submit or be diminished. It's a raw expression of her inner struggle. Part of her is curious about this human, yet her pride and cultural upbringing force her to push him away. Jared's response to this defiance is key to the dynamic developing between them. Rather than taking offense or withdrawing, he simply replies, "I'm not trying to own you, just trying to help." His words carry no judgment or expectation. They convey respect for her independence and a desire to be an ally rather than a master. This response disarms Kelly slightly. Jared's refusal to engage in a power struggle is unlike the interaction she is used to with other species or even her own kind. Often, power is asserted through dominance or intimidation. Jared's approach, however, is rooted in cooperation and mutual respect, challenging Kaylee's assumptions about relationships and control. As the story continues in this part, readers see that Kelly's resistance is not just about Jared personally, it's about what he represents. He is human, a species she barely understands, yet one that is persistent, adaptable, and empathetic in ways unfamiliar to her warrior culture. Her struggle is internal. Can she let down her defenses without losing herself? Can she allow someone close without being perceived as weak? Despite her sharp words and proud posture, moments of vulnerability peek through. Kelly begins to question her initial judgments and the isolation she has long accepted. Jared's quiet presence offers a contrast to her harsh world, a space where she might not have to fight or prove herself constantly. This part also highlights the theme of breaking down cultural barriers. Kelly's culture is structured and rigid, while Jared's human nature is flexible and open. Their interactions symbolize the larger challenge of understanding across species and cultures, something vital for cooperation in the galaxy. The tension between them also adds emotional depth to the story. Their relationship is not a simple friendship. It is complicated by pride, fear, and the challenge of forging trust where it has never existed before. The phrase, "I'm not your pet," becomes a refrain that symbolizes Kaylee's ongoing struggle with vulnerability and control. By the end of Part 2, the reader understands that while Kelly insists on her independence, she is beginning to let Jared into her world, not because she has surrendered, but because she is learning that strength can take many forms, including the courage to trust and accept help. In summary, Part 2 explores the emotional and cultural complexities of Kelly and Jared's developing relationship. It juxtaposes Kelly's fierce independence with Jared's respectful patience, setting the stage for deeper trust and connection. This part is essential for showing that true strength is not just physical or cultural, but also emotional, knowing when to stand alone and when to lean on others. Until now, Kelly has maintained a strong front. Her repeated assertion, "I'm not your pet," encapsulated her refusal to appear weak or dependent. She has guarded herself fiercely, and despite Jared's steady presence and goodwill, she has kept him at arm's length. Their interactions were marked by tension, respect, and quiet curiosity, but trust remained distant. The story's tone shifts abruptly when Elysium Station is suddenly struck by an unexpected meteor storm. Such an event is catastrophic for a space station designed for diplomacy and research, not combat or extreme emergencies. The storm battering the station creates chaos. Critical systems fail, alarms wail, and oxygen supplies become unstable. In this desperate moment, survival depends on teamwork, quick thinking, and courage. Kelly finds herself trapped in a damaged section of the station where access routes are blocked and air is rapidly depleting. This vulnerability is unfamiliar and terrifying for her. The warrior who has faced countless battles is suddenly at the mercy of fate, isolated and gasping for breath. It is a dramatic reversal that strips away her defenses and forces her to confront her mortality. Meanwhile, Jared is among the first responders dispatched to rescue the stranded personnel. His training, composure, and problem-solving skills make him invaluable in this crisis. Upon locating Kelly, Jared finds her physically weakened and emotionally shaken. The proud warrior's fierce gaze is replaced with wide, panicked eyes, a raw and vulnerable expression seldom seen. Without hesitation, Jared lifts Kelly into his arms. This act of carrying her to safety is both practical and symbolic. It crosses previous boundaries of distance and defiance. Jared's action is tender but firm, showing he values her life over pride or protocol. For Kelly, this moment is complex. She is physically dependent on someone she has resisted, yet she feels a strange comfort in his steadiness. As they reach a secure emergency shelter, the blaring alarms fade into silence. The once chaotic environment grows calm and still. Here, Kelly's breathing slows and she begins to regain composure. In this quiet aftermath, the emotional weight of the crisis settles between them. Kelly looks up at Jared, voice barely a whisper, repeating the phrase that has defined her boundaries, "I'm not your pet." But Jared's response is different. This time, instead of denying or challenging, he simply says, "You're not, you're my friend." His words carry warmth and acceptance. This small but profound statement acknowledges Kelly's autonomy while offering a connection beyond ownership or control. This exchange represents a breakthrough in their relationship. It reveals Jared's understanding that trust is not about possession, but about mutual respect and choice. It also shows Kelly's willingness to be vulnerable, to accept help without shame, and to redefine what strength means to her. Part 3. The story explores the emotional complexities of trust, especially in beings from vastly different worlds. Kelly's cultural conditioning taught her that vulnerability is dangerous and dependence is weakness. Jared's humanity, however, embraces connection and cooperation as sources of strength. The scene highlights a universal truth. True strength often lies in the courage to rely on others and to allow oneself to be cared for. This resonates deeply, not only for Kelly but for the readers, who witness the transformation of a fierce warrior into someone who understands the power of friendship. Part 3 also emphasizes the importance of actions over words. Jared's rescue speaks louder than any verbal promise. His willingness to risk his own safety for Kelly's life shows his commitment to her well-being. For Kelly, this experience challenges her long-held beliefs about independence and reshapes Her view of human kindness. In a broader context, this moment foreshadows the future of their partnership. It lays the foundation for deeper emotional intimacy and mutual reliance. It also shows how crisis can catalyze growth, breaking down walls and building bridges where before there were only barriers. Finally, the part subtly portrays the idea that friendship and loyalty transcend cultural differences. Jared and Kaylee's connection is not limited by species or background. It is rooted in shared experiences, respect, and compassion. Up until this point, Kali has maintained a tough exterior, fiercely guarding her autonomy and self-reliance. Even after the life-threatening crisis in Part 3, where Jared rescued her, she still clings to the idea that she is not anyone's possession. "I'm not your pet." These words have been a shield, a mantra to keep her identity intact in a galaxy where strength is often misunderstood. Yet, beneath the surface, a transformation is underway. Kelly's repeated refusal to accept dependence is slowly giving way to the realization that companionship does not mean surrender. This inner conflict is portrayed delicately in Part 4, where small, quiet moments between her and Jared reveal a growing emotional intimacy. The setting for this part is intimate and calm, the bustling chaos of the station replaced by a quiet evening under the soft hum of life support systems. This backdrop creates a safe space where Kelly feels secure enough to lower her defenses, even if just a little. Kelly approaches Jared silently, without announcement or fanfare. Her actions speak louder than any words. She curls up in his lap, a gesture that is deeply symbolic and vulnerable. To Keely, who has been defined by strength and independence, this act of physical closeness is revolutionary. It signals trust, comfort, and a willingness to accept care. The moment is charged with emotional tension. Jared, ever respectful and aware of Kelly's boundaries, responds gently. He strokes her hair softly, a simple act of kindness that reinforces the fragile trust between them. He does not try to impose or overwhelm, but offers warmth and acceptance. Kelly breaks the silence with a whisper, repeating the phrase that has defined her resistance, "I'm not your pet." But this time, there is a difference in her voice, a softness, a hint of uncertainty, and perhaps an invitation to understand what lies beyond those words. Her whispered statement acknowledges her past pride and independence, while subtly opening the door to change. It's a moment of self-awareness where she admits that while she still values her autonomy, she no longer fears closeness as a threat. Jared's response is understated yet profound. He doesn't contradict her or try to redefine her identity. Instead, he accepts her as she is, recognizing that trust is built slowly and on equal terms. His gentle presence reassures Kelly that companionship is not about ownership but mutual respect. This scene encapsulates the story's central theme. True strength is multifaceted. It is not just about physical prowess or stubborn independence, but also about emotional courage, the bravery to be vulnerable, to trust, and to accept support. Part 4 also explores the delicate balance of boundaries in relationships, especially cross-cultural ones. Kaylee's culture prizes self-sufficiency, so her choice to nestle in Jared's lap is not about submission but about redefining strength through connection. The act of curling up in someone's lap, which might seem simple or ordinary to some, is here a powerful symbol of trust and intimacy. It shows that Kelly is beginning to find solace and safety not in isolation but in shared presence. This moment also deepens Jared's character. His patient and respectful approach highlights the best aspects of humanity's adaptability and empathy. He doesn't rush or demand. He simply offers kindness and waits for Kelly to accept it on her own terms. Emotionally, this part is a turning point. It shifts from tension and resistance to quiet acceptance and connection. Readers see a side of Kelly that is rarely shown, a side that longs for companionship despite her fears and pride. The scene also foreshadows future developments in their relationship. It hints that what began as mutual curiosity and cautious interaction is evolving into a genuine emotional bond, possibly something deeper than friendship. Additionally, Part 4 emphasizes how small moments can carry enormous weight in relationships. It's not grand declarations or dramatic gestures, but simple acts of closeness and understanding that create lasting trust. In a larger sense, this moment challenges stereotypes about strength and independence. It shows that even the fiercest warriors can find power in vulnerability, and that true connection transcends cultural norms and expectations. The final part of the story serves as both a culmination and a fresh start for the evolving relationship between Callie, the fiercely independent Rinkesh warrior, and Jared, the patient human engineer. It explores how their bond, forged through trust, vulnerability, and mutual respect, blossoms into a partnership admired and respected by those around them. This section carries a hopeful tone, emphasizing growth, acceptance, and the power of connection across cultures. By this point in the narrative, Kelly and Jared have weathered personal and external challenges. Their relationship has transformed from wary acquaintances marked by defiance and pride to trusted friends who find comfort and strength in each other's presence. The journey has been difficult. Kelly's repeated assertions of independence, the life-threatening crisis, and the quiet moments of vulnerability have all tested their limits. Yet, those trials have only strengthened their connection. Part 5 begins with the duo fully embracing their partnership. On Elysium Station, their relationship no longer surprises or confuses others. Instead, it becomes a symbol of unity and cooperation between species that often misunderstand each other. Their story serves as a testament to the idea that differences, cultural, biological, or otherwise, need not divide, but can enrich relationships. Kelly remains a warrior at heart. Her strength and pride are intact. Nothing has diminished her fierce spirit. Yet, there is a new balance, a harmony between independence and interdependence. She no longer sees accepting help or closeness as a weakness, but as another form of strength. Her occasional teasing remarks, such as, "Don't get used to me being so soft," reveal a playful acknowledgement of this change without surrendering her core identity. Jared's role as a steadfast companion and friend is equally important. His patience, empathy, and respect for Kelly's boundaries have laid the foundation for their trust. He continues to support her without pressure or judgment, understanding that true connection requires time and care. The narrative also highlights how their relationship challenges and expands the perceptions of those around them. On a station filled with many species, some skeptical or wary of humans, Kelly and Jared's partnership serves as an example of cooperation and friendship that transcends cultural divides. Their bond suggests that humanity's strength lies not only in physical resilience or technology, but in the capacity for empathy and connection. The act of Kelly nesting in Jared's lap, a motif repeated from earlier parts, now symbolizes more than a fragile moment of vulnerability. It becomes a comforting ritual, a physical manifestation of their mutual trust and affection. Neither views it as submission or possession, but as a natural expression of their closeness. Part 5 also touches on the theme of identity. Both characters maintain their unique qualities, Kelly's warrior pride and Jared's human kindness, while forming a new, shared identity as partners. This delicate balance respects individuality within unity, a message that resonates strongly in a story about cross-cultural understanding. Moreover, the story ends on an optimistic note. Despite the challenges ahead in a galaxy filled with uncertainty, Kelly and Jared face the future together. Their partnership embodies hope for peace, understanding, and friendship between vastly different beings. The final lines, with Jared's warm laughter in response to Kaylee's teasing, emphasize the lightness and joy that have entered their lives. This emotional closure leaves readers with a sense of satisfaction and anticipation for what comes next. Should their story continue. In a broader sense, this concluding part reflects a fundamental theme of many HFY, humanity, stories. That humans bring something unique and powerful to the galaxy, not just advanced technology or combat prowess, but qualities like empathy, resilience, and the ability to build genuine connections. Through Kelly and Jared's story, the narrative celebrates the strength found in friendship and the transformative power of trust. It shows that even the most guarded and proud individuals can open their hearts and find companionship without losing themselves. In summary, Part 5 ties together the emotional journey of the story, illustrating how Kelly and Jared move beyond cultural barriers to form a partnership rooted in equality, respect, and affection. Their relationship is not about ownership or submission, but about two individuals choosing to face the universe side by side. This new beginning is both an end and a promise, a testament to the enduring power of friendship and the hope for a future where differences are not obstacles but strengths.